What's going on, and welcome back to another gear review. And in this video we're going to be going over the Special Operations Technologies Medical Organizer Rescue Pack. Now this thing is going to cost you roughly around 275 bucks, and it is a little bit on the high side, but because of that medical affiliation, SoTech really took the time in putting together a bag that has really high quality materials, high quality construction, and it's a very simple design, especially when comparing this to a lot of the similar bags that are out there between your traditional duffel bag, your aviator kit bags, and some of the nicer bags that are out there like your GoRuck kit bags and packs that they have, as well as something like the Maxpedition Doppel Duffel, which I think is very comparable to this. This has a little bit more of a simpler design compared to the Doppel Duffel, so there are some options, but I do think the price is justified because of the overall construction, setup, and simple design of this bag. So with that though, when you're comparing this to some of the other products that are a little bit higher quality or larger on the market, this is about the same size as a Pelican 1650 case and also the Force Protection Gear deployment bag. There are some options when it comes down to that and whether or not you want to spend the money on this or one of those other products. And then when comparing this to some of the really larger duffel bags that are out there, like the Tactical Tailor, London Bridge, and Eagle Industries rolling duffel bags or deployment bags, you do have some things to think about in what's going to be best for you and enable you when it comes down to it. So I want you to have all that information so that way you can determine and have the most information to be able to make the most informed decision on what's going to be best for you and what your needs are. So with that, I'm going to dive right into this. I'll talk about the exterior, open this up, and then I'll show you guys the interior, and then I'll throw some kit in there so that way you can see what this looks like with all of your kit in the bag. I've used this more than any other bag that I have when it comes down to it. This has been on more trips than anything, and I'm really satisfied with these bags when it comes down to it. I have two of them. I've got a tan one and a black one, and these things are awesome. So with that, I'm going to dive right into it. Up top here, you have a little bit of a little placard pocket for whatever information that you want to put on there, whether it's your name, address, contact info. You have that little bit of space for that. You have your carrying handle up top here as well, and there's that little connector too, so that way if you want to run around with this like just a duffel bag, you can do that, or you can run around with it just in a normal configuration. So you have some options with that. You do also have, if I can find them, these straps that'll buckle in up here up top, so that way if you want to cinch this down and get this nice and tight, prevent that from opening up, you do have those buckles for that as well. Especially for storage between these top buckles and these bottom buckles, you can get this thing nice and compact so it just fits in a small space and it's out of the way when it comes down to it. You have your large opening or zipper pocket up top for your main component, which is really nice. I'll get into that in a sec when I get to the interior, but these buckles that are on the bottom are nice because you do have some structural padding or foam on the interior of this, which I think really helps and does set itself apart because that structural kind of integrity for this pack helps making navigating through this pack and finding gear and equipment really easy compared to some of the bags that don't have anything and it's just material, and then you're trying to pull the bag out of the way to like dig around in the bag trying to find whatever you're looking for. So I really like that about this foam that's on the bottom. You can also use this to just kind of stand it up on its own, and it works really well. So I like having that on this. You do have those buckles so where you can compress it down, and then on this back side you have your shoulder straps, and then you have the channel or Velcro channel or pocket that you can open up on either side and then stuff those shoulder straps inside that pocket so that way they're out of the way and protected when they're not in use. So you do have that option as well, which is really nice. I think it's a huge feature when it comes down to it. This thing is really nice to actually carry around. There's a giant foam pad on the interior of this, and then it also kind of gives it that additional structure too. So I think it's really nice in a simple setup and design when it comes down to it, but it has its uses. So when it comes to the interior of this pack or bag, it is pretty open, it is pretty spacious. You do have some organizational pockets which are really nice. That foam does help give it that structure so it stays open, and you don't have to like really push things out of the way and when you're digging around or trying to move the bag around to be able to find stuff. When I was using aviator kit bags and duffel bags, I was always trying to fight the bag more than anything. So that's just my experience with them, but as you can see, the space is pretty open when it comes down to it. You do have these mesh bags on either side that you can throw whatever you want in there to help keep things organized or isolate certain items that you want to be able to access with ease. And then you do have this large pocket on the top flap to be able to throw whatever equipment that you want in there as well for that easy access. I've always used this for more like document stuff when traveling, so it's easy to access all that. When it comes to actually throwing equipment in here, I'll throw my plate carrier in the bag so that way you can see what it looks like. It is pretty spacious when it comes down to it. You can fit quite a bit in here. And between the plate carrier, helmet, and a belt, it does take up quite a bit of space, but it is nice because you do still have a little bit of space left over. So throwing all that in there, moving things around, you can see that between the belt and the helmet and the plate carrier, it takes about 2/3 of the bag up, and then you do have this little bit of a section in the middle to be able to throw whatever else you want to throw in there. So I've fit my Peltors, a pistol and a rifle on this bag as well. So very similar setup to how I was running how I'm running the Pelican cases that I'm using now. But this is an awesome setup and simple design, especially just really going out to the range or using it for travel and clothing and all that. So you do have quite a bit of space when it comes down to it, and then when it all zips up, it's kind of a nice cubed bag, I guess you could say, so, or rectangular bag. So I really like this. I definitely think they are worth the money and the investment when it comes down to it. But I want you to have all the information as much information as possible to determine what's going to be best for you, especially when comparing the other bags that are out on the market. So with that, if you have any questions, please feel free, leave a comment. We'll help you out in any way that we can in answering those questions. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.